Dead people don't get scared. That's the first thing I learned after I disappeared. Fear is for people who still have something to lose. I didn't. They moved me out of the hospital at 3 a.m. No discharge papers, no signatures, no goodbye. Just Detective Reynolds, a hoodie 2 sizes too big, a burner phone, and a look that said, "This situation is way above my pay grade." "From this moment on," he said, starting the car, "you are not Evelyn Carter." I smirked weakly. Good, she had shitty taste in men. He didn't laugh. That's when I knew this wasn't a game. They stashed me in a small town 2 hours away, middle of nowhere, gas stations, motel signs flickering like they were tired of existing, the kind of place people come to disappear or to be forgotten. Reynolds handed me an envelope. Inside, a fake ID, cash, and a new name, Lena Moore. He said, "Use it. Don't Google yourself. Don't contact anyone from your old life. And for the love of God, don't let Ryan see you." I stared at the ID. Different name, different photo, same eyes. Eyes that were wide awake now. The first week was hell. I couldn't sleep. Every noise felt like footsteps, every shadow felt like Ryan's silhouette. I kept seeing his face on TV. Turns out, being a grieving widower is great PR. People brought him food, neighbors hugged him, women looked at him like he was fragile and available. Yeah, that made me sick. And then I saw her, the woman standing beside him. Tall, brunette, hand on his arm like it belonged there. The news caption read, "Ryan Carter spotted with close family friend offering support." Family friend. That's what they call mistresses now? Cool. That night, something snapped. I realized something important. Ryan didn't just want me dead, he wanted my life, my house, my money, my identity. And now, my replacement. Nah, that wasn't gonna fly. I started planning. Slow, smart, quiet. First rule of revenge, don't rush it. I needed information. And lucky for me, dead people don't leave paper trails, but liars do. I got a job at a diner, night shift, cash only, the kind of place where truckers overshare and locals gossip like it's cardio. I listened. People talk when they think nobody cares. That's how I learned Ryan had moved, sold the house, cashed out insurance, and was suddenly doing real good financially. Funny how death does that. I started using the burner phone, fake accounts, fake names, fake faces. I stalked him the digital way. Turns out, Ryan had a habit of slipping. Different emails, shady business forums, messages he thought were private. That's when I found it. A shell company, registered under his name, linked to offshore accounts, money laundering, insurance fraud, and something darker, a payment labeled medical clearance. That chilled me, because you don't pay for medical clearance unless you're covering something up, or someone up. I contacted Reynolds, used a payphone like it was the damn 90s. I think he paid off the doctor. Silence. Then, "I was afraid you'd say that." Here's the part nobody tells you about revenge. It's lonely as hell. You can't trust anyone, you can't slip, you can't get emotional. Every smile is fake, every laugh rehearsed, but damn, I got good at it. 3 weeks later, I met Maya. She was the woman from the TV, Ryan's support system. I found her favorite bar, showed up accidentally on purpose. We talked, she laughed, she complained about men. Then she mentioned Ryan. Such a broken soul, I just want to help him heal. I almost choked on my drink. Heal? From murdering me? Girl, please. I played dumb, played sweet, played harmless. That's the trick. Nobody suspects the quiet woman in the corner. By the end of the night, she gave me her number. Hook, line, sinker. Over the next few weeks, I became her friend, her confidant, her late-night vent buddy. She told me everything. How Ryan drank too much, how he had nightmares, how he was always paranoid, always checking locks, always watching shadows. Good. Fear looks good on him. Then came the confession. One night, she whispered, "He told me something and I don't know how to feel about it." My heart pounded. "What?" I asked casually. She hesitated, then said, "He said sometimes he still hears her voice." My voice. She deserved it, he'd told her. She was going to ruin everything. I smiled softly. Inside, I was on fire. That night, I cried. Not because I missed him, but because the man I loved never existed. He was always capable of this. I just didn't see it. That's when I made my next move. I leaked information. Small stuff. Anonymous tips. Financial inconsistencies. Enough to make noise, not enough to trace back to me. Reynolds handled the rest. Audits started. Questions followed. Ryan noticed. His social media went quiet. His smile disappeared. And then he posted something. A status update. Some ghosts don't stay buried. My blood ran cold. Was he guessing, or was it guilt? Either way, the game just leveled up. I stood in front of the motel mirror that night, stared at the woman I'd become. New hair, new clothes, new name. Same rage, same fire. If you want a ghost, I'll haunt you. Because here's the truth. Ryan thought declaring me dead would end the story. He was wrong. It just gave me a better ending to write. And trust me, the final chapter is gonna wreck him.